Hello everyone. Today I am going to teach you your first chapter of geography, that is resource. In this chapter we will see the meaning of resource and its classification, and we will also see that how important the resources are for the human beings. So we will start the chapter with the meaning of a resource. So we should know that what exactly a resource is. Students, if any object or a substance is usable, profitable or beneficial for us, then it's a resource. In short, we can say that anything that can be used to satisfy our need is considered as a resource. We all are surrounded by different types of resources. Few examples are here. I have given you water, electricity, and even your textbooks are the resource. Okay. So any object or substance which is usable, profitable or beneficial for us, then it becomes a resource. Okay. I hope you understood the meaning of resource. Now we will see that what makes an object or a substance a resource. So students, the things which make an object or a substance a resource is its utility or its usability. Okay, means its utility and the usability decides that whether that particular thing is a resource or not. Okay, now we will see that how does something become a resource. कोई चीज रिसोर्स संसाधन कैसे बन जाती है. Okay, so things become a resource only when they have a value. Okay, means any object or a thing, it become a resource only when it have some value or its use or the utility gives us it a value. Understood? The second point is all resources have some value, which means worth. Means each and every substance having certain value, which means its worth. Means the substance which having the values, they consider as a resource as they having the worth. Now we will see the next point. Some resources have economic value, some do not. Students, some resources have great economic values and some resources they don't. But even though they are also considered as a resource, I will explain this by giving you one example. Metals may have an economic value, a beautiful landscape may not. Okay. We know that metals, minerals, they all are very precious. That is why they having a good economic value. But a beautiful landscape may not. Okay, means metals, as they are very important, so they having a great economic value. They use for so many purposes. Means okay. But the beautiful landscape may not the same value, but both are important and satisfy human needs. So here, even though the landscape doesn't have as much as value as the metals, but here both are considered as resources because both are able to satisfy human needs. Okay. Now we will see the classification of the resources. Students, resources are classified into natural and human made. So we will see the first classification of the resources, that is natural resource. We should know that what are the natural resources. So resources that are drawn from the nature and used without much modification are called the natural resources. For example, air, water or soil. Means all those resources which are not created by the human beings, they are the gifts of nature to us, and we are using most of them as their original appearances. So here are some examples of those resources: air, water and soil. Okay, I hope you understood this. Then further, the natural resources are classified into different groups depending upon their level of development and use. So these resources are divided on the basis of their origin, stock and their distribution. So we will see the first classification of resources on the basis of their development. Okay, so on the basis of development, resources are of two types, that is actual resources and the potential resources. Actual resources are those resources whose quantity is known to us. Means all those resources whose quantity known to us, they are considered as actual resources. We have the examples like coal and petroleum. Means we know at what amount they are available and where they are existed. Okay, the second one is the potential resources. Students, potential resources are those resources who having the potential to satisfy our needs, but those resources are not in use at present. They may be used in future. So such type of resources are called potential resources. Uranium reserves in Ladakh are the example of such type of resources. Means we are not using them in present, but they may be used in future. So these are the examples of potential resource. The next classification of the resources on the basis of their origin. So on the basis of their origin, the resources are of two types, that is abiotic and biotic. Okay, so abiotic resources are those resources which are non-renewable, which are non-living. Means these resources are non-living, they do not have any life. So soil, rocks, minerals are some examples of abiotic resources. Okay, now we will see the biotic resources. Biotic resources are those resources who exist, in which lives are exist. Okay, means all the living beings, they came into the category of biotic resources. So flora and fauna are the good example of such type of resources. Now the next is classification of the resources on the basis of their accessibility. Means on this context, the resources are divided into two categories, that is renewable resource and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources are those resources which we can use again and again. Means they can be replenished easily. So wind energy, solar energy are some examples of such type of resources which we can use again and again. The next one is non-renewable resource. So non-renewable resources are those resources which cannot be replenished very soon, or we cannot use them again and again. Once they existed, they took billions of years to regenerate. So coal and petroleum are the examples of such type of resources, as once they are existed, so they took billions of years for their regeneration. Okay, the next one is classification of the resources on the basis of their distribution. Okay, so in this context, the resources are classified into two different categories, that is ubiquitous resources and the localized resources. Students, ubiquitous resources are those resources which are found everywhere. Means all those resources which generally found everywhere, such type of resources came into the category of ubiquitous resources. air, water, soil are some examples of such type of resources. The next one is localized resources. Localized resources are those resources which are found in some specific regions or the locations. Okay, coal mines of Jharkhand are the best example of such type of resources. The petroleum reserves in India, they are the examples of localized resources because such type of resources are found in some specific areas or regions. Okay, so I hope you all are able to understood the classification of the natural resources. Now we will see the human resources. Students, when a natural resource undergoes a drastic change by the human intervention, it become a human resource. Means when the human beings through their knowledge, their skill, they started to use the things which were present in our nature and convert them into a resource. All those things are called human made resources or the human resource. Means we having an example of this. Iron ore is processed to make steel, hence steel is a man-made resource. So here iron is a natural resource. So human being processed iron to make steel from it. So here steel will be considered as man-made resource because it is made by the human beings. So all those resources which were created by the human beings, those things are called human resource. So we have read the classification of the resources just a while. Now we will see the conservation of the resources or conserving resources. Students, it is very important to conserve our resources. We will see why it is important to conserve our resources. So first of all, we should know that what is a resource conservation. So resource conservation is a way to use our resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed. It is very important. Conservation is a very important prospect or it is a very important phenomena. So it is very important for us to conserve our resources. Means we should not only recklessly use the resources, but we should also give them time to regenerate or renewed. So resource conservation, why there is a need for a resource conservation? The first point is which proves it right that most of the natural resources are limited in stocks, and the big thing is this most of the resources, especially the mineral resources, they are non-renewable. So once they existed, they took millions of years for their regenerations. So we should use them very judiciously as they were available in limited amount. Okay, and it is not only the natural or the mineral resources, but there are also so many renewable resources which became scarce if they are not used judiciously. Means it is not only the mineral resources, but if we will recklessly use the renewable resources also, one day they will be exhausted. So we should use our resources very judiciously under the program of sustainable development. Student, it is a way to make a balance between our needs and conservation of resources. This phenomena is called sustainable development, or we can say that the judicious use of the resources under which we make a balance between our present needs and we try to match those needs with the needs of future. This phenomenon is called sustainable development. So here we can say that it is sustainable development is a way to make a balance between our needs and conservation of the resources. So to protect or to conserve our resources, we should follow 3 R's. 3 R's, that is reduce, reuse and recycle. Understood? So under reduce, we have to reduce our consumption of such type of resources which are scarce in amount. We should try to make their use lesser. Okay. The second one is reuse. Students, under this process, we should reuse as many as items we can. Means there are so many things or the resources which we can use again and again, like water. Water is used for so many things: cooking, bathing, washing and so many other things. So we can make a system under which we can reuse the water. Means we can use the water again and again by storing it or by some other means. The last one is recycle. Under this, we should reuse the discarded items like plastics, newspapers, the other type of papers and the house waste. There were so many things, means which we can use or recycle it. So these are the 3 R's which are very important under the program of sustainable development. Students, in this chapter I have taught you about the resources, its meaning, their classification, and we have also seen that why the resources are important for us. We also go through the process of resource conservation. So I hope you all are able to understood this chapter. If you having any problem, you can go through the notes also. I have given you the notes. If you means, please see the question answers also. It will be help you to understood the chapter in a better way. Still, if you are facing any problem, you can ask me personally. Okay, thank you.